All right, so we are ready to put the rear lettering on here. I have compounded and polished this. I did a one-step from Obrecht. So obviously the car's been repainted, but any surface where it's going to be on the exterior, we decided to do a one-step paint correction and ceramic coat. You can see I've already done a lot of work here as well. I'm not going to cover that in this video. I have a couple of videos on my channel step you through how to do that, but you do want to make sure that you do not ceramic coat this before you put lettering or badges or anything, because it's going to just reduce the adhesion. That's what it's designed to do. So this has been compounded but has not been ceramic coated. So what we're going to do is set this up. I'm going to walk you through how to apply these. I went with a raised vintage lettering. Again, this is going to be a bit of a backdate type of look in the exterior with the front vertical suffix grille and those kinds of things. So let me step you through the supplies. All right, so here's everything you're going to need. Obviously, if you're going with different letters, like the stickers or whatever, same concept sort of applies, minus a couple things. But in my case, like I said, doing these raised letters, I got these from Famous 4. So these are the vintage style, you know, sort of like older looking letters. I'm doing that on the front and the rear to match. So we've got the letters themselves. They are not self-adhesive. So we've got some 3M exterior auto attachment tape in a very thin profile so that we can attach that to the back of the letters. Gonna need scissors to trim all that. So this is gonna be a little time consuming to put all that on the back. I'm gonna need some kind of painter's tape. I'm using Delicate Surface just because this car was just repainted. It's perfect. I don't wanna screw up the paint or anything like that. And then a tape measure. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the adhesive strips on the back of these. Then I'll show you how to kind of set this up and lay it out. I'll talk through all the dimensions, kind of how far everything sits, where you get it, and then we'll put it on. All right, so we've got our baseline set up here. I will say there's one sort of unique nuance to this. We've got our center line marked right here. We've got these two marks here, which are 3.5 inches apart. That's where the range ends and the Rover starts. But let me show you something real quick. So luckily for this project, I have the gold Range Rover that we are doing the other like light restoration on that we're gonna flip. And I was measuring these just to say, hey, well, this is original, so I might as well go off of that. Turns out that the spacing between the bottoms of these letters is not equal. So it ranges from like 1.5 inches to like 1.75 inches or even like 7/8 in some cases. The distance from this corner to the R and from this last R to that corner is about 1 inch different. And basically like the spacing of the range is more expanded than the Rover, which you never know with the naked eye until you start measuring. So to stay true to form and as original as possible, I'm actually going to take each of these measurements individually and then transfer them over to the template we have on the green one back there in the garage so that it's identical. Okay, so we transferred everything over. You can see once I was confident in all the measurements that I made with a light pen, went back with a Sharpie, but you can see the spacing of everything. And I know it's hard to tell from this, but like I said, there is a lot of variation. So we're gonna go ahead and apply the letters one by one. I did wipe this down with some eraser, all-purpose isopropyl alcohol cleaner. I had fingerprints and stuff from doing all this work, so make sure you do that. But let's go and get the letters on, and then this side will be done. Halfway done. Quick note, do not press these down all the way. You wanna just lay them on there so they just barely attach. Because what you're gonna wanna be able to do is look at the letters and adjust the angles just slightly, just to make sure you don't get any kind of like waviness. So just make sure you're super happy with everything. Go ahead and do the entire thing. I even say pull the tape off, look at it 3-4 times, then press everything down. All right, that side is done. Loving the look there. We're gonna repeat basically the exact same process for the front. So I'm not gonna take you through every step of that. The measurements on the front are 7/8 off the top of the hood, whereas this was 2 1/8 off the top of this rolled lip at the bottom. So 7/8 up, same thing, tape, space. Luckily, again, we're gonna measure off the gold one here just to get the spacing right, and then we'll move on to the rest of the exterior trim pieces. Okay, so let's talk lights. We have made a lot of progress. We've got the whole car ceramic coated. We've got EXO on top of that. I compounded, I polished, so paintwork's looking really good. Next project here we're gonna tackle is front grille, front headlight pieces. I'll show you those in a second, and then all the lighting. So I'm gonna start with the lighting, give you an overview of what we're gonna be doing. Obviously this car came with all of the stock lights, whatnot. As you can see, that's all been removed as part of the paintwork. We are gonna use the stock taillight assemblies, so I have those off to the side. Those work perfectly. So what we're going to be replacing everything with, first and foremost, we're going to be going with these new front indicators, left and right. So these are the amber and clear combo, brand new. Wanted to go with something period correct. It included the amber, but wanted something new. The ones that were on here were in pretty rough shape. They were the original. They were like super faded and all that. Moving over to headlights. These are 7-inch headlights off of Amazon. They're LED. I wanted to go with something really simple. So black housing to kind of go with the, you know, black darker look, which obviously we've carried here in the badging, and we're going to do the bumper and the rear bumper in a black. So I went with the black chrome housing, whatever you want to call it, as opposed to like a polished bright chrome. And then I did not opt for any kind of lit section in the middle. I did test a few options with those and just decided way too modern. And so these are really just simple. They're going to give really nice, beautiful light output. So a little bit of a Restomod. Of course, these aren't original, but I wanted them to kind of look original-ish. And, you know, some of you may get in the comments and say these look nothing like original, but I think you get what I'm trying to say. Like, I wanted upgraded headlights. That was a big piece of the Restomod concept here, but I just didn't want anything that looked so far different from, you know, original with all the crazy light bars and, you know, colors and all this craziness. These I really, really like. So these are from Lucas from a manufacturing standpoint. I got them on eBay. I actually got a set of standard lenses, and then I got these black trimmed lenses with kind of this smoked or blacked outline, and decided to keep this set and return the other set. I think these are going to look super, super sharp with, again, the black bumpers, the black wheels, the black badging, you know, just to kind of give it that, you know, extra touch. So that's all the lighting. I'm gonna go ahead and get the stuff installed. It's all pretty straightforward. It's a couple screws and a couple plugs. I'm not gonna walk you through every single step of that, but I will show you kind of the after and when everything's complete, so you can kind of see how the look came together. The other thing I'll show you before I get started is the front grille set. So we're gonna be replacing this stock grille. Obviously the headlights are getting changed out. So this grille is the vertical Suffolk style grille. It actually is new old stock. This is a OEM part. Super hard to find. I just lucked into this, you know, many months ago as I was kind of collecting parts and kind of getting everything squared away in advance of this thing getting painted. Found this on Four Brothers. It's now out of stock. You could certainly reach out to them and see if they ever get this back in stock, but Four Brothers over in the UK, a lot of you guys will be familiar with them, but new old stock, original Suffolk, vertical grille, super psyched about that. And then it comes with matching headlight surround pieces. Obviously this one has all of that integrated into one piece. So when we remove this, that Suffolk grille is going to stop here, and then you need a separate piece that gets drilled down from the top to hold the headlight. So yeah, super excited about this look. This is a big piece of, you know, kind of that backdate concept, if you will, was going with a little more vintage, you know, front end look, which I think is going to look great.
Top 50 is where you want to be when you make it to next week.
For more than 150 years, we've kept our promise to financially protect and provide.
Too strict about it right now, but Taylor Moore has really lit up the opening night so far today.
Actually, to make it to the playoffs in 2022, he was doing better than that this year.
Yeah, so 4 under par.
Captain makes a nice cut here to tie her up.
So looks good. Nearly 3-week boot camp in this year.
Okay, quick look. Looking really good. That vintage grille looks really, really sharp. Yeah, I'm really liking the look. Glad I went with the backdate. I think it looks really good with this Range Rover lettering. So yeah, onto headlights, taillights, all that, and then we'll have a lot of the exterior of this thing really wrapped up. Just did a test run with the new LED headlights. They look super sharp. These work directly with the factory lights. You do have to take apart the assembly. So you'll see this is the housing, which has actually this connector that then runs over to the 3-spade, I believe it's H4, which is what this takes. So you basically just transfer, you know, this old bulb and unit out in for this new bulb, and then you use the existing ring and housing, and then we're gonna put that behind and we'll be done there. So we're making progress there. And then on the rear lights, these are looking good. This is just kind of a test mock-up. Got to go grab some new hardware, but Really liking the look of this, you know, darker edge around there. It's gonna look super sharp with this paint and obviously with the badging and everything. So yeah, pretty close to wrapping up the light project. Got to do the 2 lights here underneath the license plate, and then we'll be done. And so one less project to go to get this build all wrapped up. All right, so we've got the front all set. Got our lights in. Those were pretty easy, but yeah, really loving this look. Very vintage vibes. I think just the suffix grille with the badge, everything just goes together really nice. I did save the original headlights, the lamps, just in case. So we're gonna run with these for a bit, feel them out, kind of see how we like them, just make sure they're not too much. But yeah, that's all wrapped up. Sides are wrapped up. Back is wrapped up. So yeah, really loving this look. And on to our next project. So hopefully enjoyed this one and this walkthrough. And this build is really moving along. So very excited. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you watching, and stay tuned for the next one.